Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing 26 books I'm planning to read in 2026, and I've already shared a similar short video, but that one was mixing ebooks, audiobooks, and physical books. And this one is just my physical TBR edition because these books are already on my shelf. So this 2026, I do not have excuses not to read them. Also, I feel like with physical books, my expectations are high because I do research things before I read them. And with ebooks and audiobooks, it's easier to DNF them and just forget about them. But physical books can stay with you like for the whole life. So that's already a bigger kind of commitment. As always, my TBR is all about mixing different genres, but this year I really want to focus on historical fiction. I want to read more of Pulitzer Prize winning novels or finalists, and I really want to read some iconic authors. Last year I was all about popular books. This year I want more meaningful stories. So yeah, I guess we can say these 26 books are non-negotiable for 2026, and let's dive in. Book number 1, Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte McConaughey. She's from Australia, and this book, I think it won Indie Awards in the USA and also a few awards in Australia. Her books are really unique because they mix thrillers and environmental issues. I guess I've never read a nature-driven thriller in my life, and I'm really excited for this one. I'm actually considering her other books as well because they have high reviews, and I think it's going to be my kind of story because I love stories with nature elements. So we'll see. Book number 2, As Long as the Lemon Tree Grows by Zulfa Katuch. This one is on my historical fiction TBR. I really want to read more historical fiction novels set in different countries. I have never read anything set in Syria. I've seen this book actually has mixed reviews from people of Syria, but actually, as someone who only knows about the topic from the news, I think for me personally, this one is going to be educational. And again, I've heard good reviews as well. So now I'm curious to share my opinion on this one and cannot wait to read it. A Little Life by Hanya Yagihara. This one was waiting on my shelf all 2025. I really want to read this book. I mean, it's a huge book, and I've seen mixed reviews. Like, the reviews are so mixed. Some people love this book, others just hate it and say it's too much trauma even to believe this can be real. But yeah, this book was nominated for Man Booker Prize, and I think it won a fiction awards in the UK. Apparently, this book is about four friends in New York, which is like, I mean, I've read books about war. So straight from the summary, I cannot imagine what can be that bad in this book. But again, I've seen people crying over it, so we'll see. I'm really curious to share my opinion on this one. The Rose Code by Kate Quinn. Another book on my historical fiction TBR. This book is set in the UK and follows three women, and they are helping the military intelligence to break the codes of the Nazis. So it sounds interesting, and I've heard great reviews. I really want to read more historical fiction novels in 2026, and Kate Quinn has amazing reviews. I still haven't read this one, but I think I might like it. So I'm already considering her other book. So yeah, I'm reading this one, and I'm letting you know whether it's actually good. All Fours by Miranda July. I mean, you can see over here that this is Women's Prize shortlisted, and I think this book actually won several awards in the US and in the UK, so it must be unique. And apparently these are like 4 stories connected and exploring topics of relationships, identity, and there is some humor in it. And I've actually heard so many things about Miranda July's writing. Again, I've heard mixed reviews about this book, but I think it's going to be unique because when the writing is unique and then the message isn't like anything else you've ever read, it's still worth your time. So I will let you know soon. Ken Follett. I wanted to read Ken Follett for ages. This is almost my pile of shame book. This is A Dangerous Fortune, but I wanted to read The Pillars of the Earth, which is his most famous book, and I still haven't. And then I saw this one in a vintage bookshop in Madrid, and I was like, okay, I will start with this. This one is set in Victorian England, so the setting itself is already interesting, but then it's a story about ambition, family drama, betrayal, and there is even some romance in it. So everyone says this book is rich in historical details, and it's also a 19th century banking family drama. So I'm reading it. I'm really curious about this one. American Pastoral by Philip Roth. This book won Pulitzer Prize award, so I really need to read it. Last year, I read The Humbling by Philip Roth, and I didn't really like the topic, but the writing was so unique. So I kept saying to myself, I really need to read something else by Philip Roth. Apparently, this book explores the ideal American life, the American dream, which is destroyed by the family drama. So as I've said, I'm really curious about this book because the writing in the other book was really good, but I didn't really like the plot. So I hope I will like this one more. The Over Story by Richard Powers. This one is another Pulitzer Prize winner. And I think somewhere here, yeah, Barack Obama said it changed how he thought about the earth and his place in it. So I'm really curious to read it. Again, as I've already said, I really love books mixing nature and fiction. So I think it's going to be unique, and I really don't know what could be in there because it looks like such a huge book. But apparently these are like interconnected stories exploring humans, trees, activism, and nature. So yeah, I cannot wait to read it. I'm really curious about this one. Before Coffee Gets Cold. I've wanted to read this book for ages. Apparently, it deals with a topic like when you have a chance to have this one last conversation with someone, whom it would be and what it would be. And I always try to include on my TBR at least one Japanese writer because Japanese literature is so different. Last year, I read The Days at the Morisaki bookshop, and I did not love it, but it was unique. And then I also read Thirst for Love by Yukio Mishima, and that one shocked me. That one was like, oh my god, I also really want to read more by Yukio Mishima this year, but it's not on my priority TBR list because I really want to read new authors. So we'll see if I have extra time to read more of Mishima. But in the meantime, I'm reading this one. Black Obelisk by Eric Maria Remarque. Eric Maria Remarque is one of my all-time favorite writers. This is classics, and I've read 3 or 4 of his books. His most famous book is All Quiet in the Western Front. Last year, I read again for the second time Heaven Has No Favorites. I loved this novel in high school, and I loved it in 2025. So this year, I want to read something else. And actually, I got the whole collection of Remarque works. So you might actually expect me to read something else, but this one is the one on my priority TBR. The House at Riverton by Kate Morton. I've wanted to read this author for ages. She's known for slow, Gothic, family drama, mystery kind of stories. So I think it's going to be my story. Apparently, this is her first book, so many readers say it's not the best book, but I still really want to read it. Again, I found this one in a vintage bookshop, and I'm reading it in 2026. Dreams of Joy by Lisa C. As I've already mentioned in one of my previous videos, that last year I read The Bone Setter's Daughter by Amy Tan, and I decided I really want to read more historical fiction novels set in China because I do not know a lot about this topic. And it's always so interesting to read about new culture, especially from someone who knows what he or she is talking about. And Lisa C in particular is known for exploring American Chinese heritage. She has many novels. I also have as audiobook her other novels, Snowflower and the Secret Fan. And this one, I bought it and then I realized it's the book number 2 in the Shanghai Girls series. So I'm reading the Shanghai Girls and then I'm reading this one, Dreams of Joy. The House of the Special Purpose by John Boyne. This is a historical fiction novel set in Russia during the revolution, and it is about the fall of the Romanov dynasty. And I've already started this book. And it is so beautiful. John Boyne is an Irish author, and his most famous book is The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. You might have heard about that one. I've seen the movie, unfortunately, so I'm reading this one, and it's my first book by John Boyne. But the writing in here, I've already started, and I think it's going to be a 5-star read. I hope so. I will let you know soon, because this one looks amazing. Betty by Tiffany McDaniel. I've seen mixed reviews. This is a historical fiction novel about a family in rural America, and apparently the main character has Native American roots, so it's a lot about identity, race, and I think it's going to be a great book. David Baldacci, The Target. I think this is the book number 3 in the Innocent series, and I really want to read something by David Baldacci. He's one of the most best-selling authors, and everyone says his books are unputdownable. This is a thriller and it has suspense, it has conspiracy, so I really like all of those topics, and I do not have a lot of them on my TBR, so I really hope I will enjoy this one. And actually, there are so many books by David Baldacci, so I think I might end up reading something else by him. Santiago Postiguillo. This book is not available in English yet. His other book, I Am Rome is the most famous one, and that one is available in English. But this author is on my Spanish writers TBR. I've said that this year I really want to read more local bestsellers and popular authors here in Spain. This author mostly writes stories focused and set in ancient Rome. He has an obsession with ancient Rome, so I'm really hoping this one to be amazing. And it also has a strong female character, so that's the reason why I've decided to read this one and not his most popular book. And I'm really curious to share my thoughts on this one. The Best of Me by David Sedaris. He's one of the most famous American writers when it comes to humor, and most of the books I have on my 2026 TBR are really sad, so I think I will really need something more positive. I've already read a few stories from this book because this one is a collection of short stories, but I really want to finish this book and read more, and it's actually a good read in between books when you do not want to start a new story. So I hope you'll like this one as well, and I will share my thoughts. The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. I wanted to read this book for ages. With this book, it's actually crazy because it does not have high rankings, but then the reviews are either 5 stars and people saying this is the best book they read in their entire life, or people saying they hated it. This is a historical fiction thriller about a girl who discovers her family connection to the Dracula legend. So I'm really curious to read it. And also, I've seen the reviews saying some European cities appear in this book and they are really well described. So I think I might like it. But again, it's a huge book and I hope it's going to be entertaining. So I will let you know as well. Alchemized, San Lin Yu. I have a beautiful Spray Edges edition and I hope it's going to be as good as everyone says. But anyway, this book is the best debut novel according to Goodreads Awards. I hope it's going to be as good as the rankings. The Blue Guitar by John Banville. His book, The Sea, won the Man Booker Award. This particular story is a lesser known novel, but I really was captured by the summary. Apparently, this book is so artsy. It is about a painter who cannot paint anymore, and there is some drama, some loneliness. So I'm really curious about the vibe of this book, and I will let you know because again, I really wanted to read this author, and I hope The Blue Guitar will be a good place to start. Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. I really do not know what to say about this book. My main reason to read it is the fact that it won American Book Awards in 2025 and everyone is talking about this book, and I saw so many people saying like this is one of the books they wish they could read for the first time, and I really hope I will like it. All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr, another Pulitzer Prize winning novel. When I shared on social media that I really want to read this book, some people wrote me that it's their all-time favorite book. I'm really excited to read this one as it's also a historical fictional novel set during the Second World War, and there are 2 main storylines, but everyone says it's so beautifully written and the story is one of those books that stays with you. So I hope it's going to be a 5-star read. The Dutch House by Anne Patchett. This book is not a Pulitzer Prize winner, it's a finalist, but I'm still really curious to read it because apparently it's about 2 siblings exploring their past, forgiveness, family drama. This is a story with emotional depth, and also my mom just read it and she said it's not worth the hype. So I'm really curious to read it now and see whether I agree or disagree. The Winners by Fredrik Backman. Fredrik Backman is one of my favorite writers. This is the book number 3 in the Beartown series. I read the first 2 books and I love them so much. I was postponing this book because honestly, I'm not ready to finish this series. I really want it to last. I'm not ready to let the characters go. And yeah, I feel like this 2026, I had to finish it before I forget what the story was about. So I would need to read the book number 1 and book number 2 again. But I feel like this is one of the best series I've ever read. And I hope the book number 3 will not disappoint me. Talking at Night. This book won the British Book Awards in 2023, I think. This is a love story. Apparently, it's really emotional. So many readers love it. The reviews are extremely high. I actually enjoy reading romances, but I read them mostly when I travel, in between more serious books. So there are not so many on my physical TBR. Most of them I read as audiobooks or as ebooks on the road. So this one is one of the few romances I have on my physical TBR, and I cannot wait to read it because the reviews are extremely high. Captain Alatriste by Arturo Pérez Reverte. He's one of the best-selling Spanish writer, actually best-selling around the world. This book is set in 17th century Spain, and it's a historical fiction adventure novel, so I think it's going to be good. There is also a movie based on this book, but thanks God I have not seen the movie yet, so I can discover this story for the first time. So yeah, these were 26 books on my physical TBR. 26 books I cannot wait to read this year, and I really hope most of them will be 4 or 5-star reads, but we'll see. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books, or maybe some of them are on your physical TBR. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you next week.